All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're calling this meeting to order. We are now convening our public session, starting with the public meeting of the Committee on Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management, which will be chaired by Vice Chair Jeff Linford. We will conclude the public portion of today's meeting with the public board meeting. Today's public meeting is also being broadcast live on the Port Authority website for those interested in viewing today's proceedings on the Internet. Vice Chair?
Thank you, Chairman. Today's meeting of the Committee on Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management is being held in public session in its entirety. At this point, I ask the Board Secretary to advise those present of the composition of the committee and any commissioner recusals on the items before the committee at today's meeting.
The committee is composed of Commissioner Linford as the committee chair, Commissioner O'Toole as the committee vice chair, and Commissioners LaBarbera, Pacino, and Rosado. All committee members are present at today's meeting, and there are no recusals on the matters before the committee.
Thank you. I now call on our Director of Rail Transit, Clorel DeGraff, to present two items concerning replacement upgrade of Path Station Substation 8 and 13. Clorel?
Good afternoon. Today I am requesting approval to reauthorize two projects to improve the reliability of electric power, which is required to operate the PATH rail service between Jersey City, New Jersey, and Newark, New Jersey. Specifically, the replacement of substation number 8 and expansion of substation number 14. The requested reauthorizations are required primarily due to actual bid results exceeding our 2017 estimates at the time of the initial board project authorization. The bid results reflect the current market for this type of work. Both these projects are funded through the Federal Transmit Administration grants, which will cover up to 90% of the FTA eligible project costs. The substations are in low-lying areas adjacent to the Passaic River. Both substations sustained extensive damage due to Superstorm Sandy in 2012 and required immediate repairs to resume PATH train operations. If you look at the screen, the substation number 14 is on your left, and it's located in Harrison, New Jersey. The substation number 8 is on your right, and it's located in Kearney, New Jersey. The substations are in excess of 35 years old and require replacement to maintain a state of good repair. Listed here in the scope of the work for substation number 8 replacement, in addition to replacing equipment, the work will include construction of a above the FEMA-based flood elevation, which will provide for increased storm resiliency. The enclosed structure will provide for enhanced security, protection of equipment, and facilitate more efficient maintenance and operations. The existing substation will remain in operation until the new substation is commissioned to avoid any impact to PATH rail service. Project authorization in 2018 for Sub 8 was based on construction cost estimates at that time. The increase in cost is primarily attributable to the low bids that we received, which exceeded our 2017 estimate. And it's approximately $14 million higher than the construction costs. The low bid is reflective of the current construction market. PATH has identified offsets in the 2017 to 2026 capital plan for the increase of the local share for this project. FTA grant funds will cover 90% of eligible project costs. The recommended awardee, Yonkers Contracting Company, is the low bidder. Substation number 14 project includes a 2-story extension to the existing structure and placement of new equipment on the substation's second floor, which will improve storm resiliency. Construction will be implemented to maintain substation operations at all times in order to avoid disruption to PATH service. Project authorization in December of 2017 was based on construction cost estimates at that time. The increase in costs is primarily attributable to the low bid exceeding our 2017 estimate, and it equates to $15.3 million higher than in additional construction costs. The low bid is reflective of the current construction market for this type of work. PATH has identified offsets in the 2017 to 2026 capital plan for the increase to the local share for this project. FTA funds are expected to cover 90% of eligible project costs. The recommended awardee, Yonkers Contracting again, is the low bidder. Listed here are the regional economic activity that result from the implementation of the project. Commissioners, I request that you advance these two project reauthorizations to the full board for approval, including the award of the construction contracts to the low bidder, Yonkers Contracting Company, Incorporated. I'll take any questions at this time. Thank you.
Sorry.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today I'm here to request project authorization to rehabilitate runway 624 at Teterboro Airport. I'm also requesting authorization to award a contract to construct the project, which would be awarded later this year. Runway 624 is 6,000 feet long and 150 feet wide and was last rehabilitated in 2009. The runway, which is highlighted in yellow here, accommodates approximately 50% of all flight operations at Teterboro Airport, which totaled 172,000 in 2018. Planning for the proposed rehabilitation was authorized by the board in April of 2018. The proposed rehabilitation includes an overlaying the existing asphalt pavement, including regrading to improve runway drainage during rain events, replacement of electrical infrastructure, and upgrading the existing incandescent airfield lights with LED lights. The total project is $1 million, including an estimated $20 million for construction. The remaining costs for this project are for planning, engineering, support, contingency, and allocations for insurance, administrative, and financial expenses. $22.9 million in funds for this project are included in the 2017 to 2026 capital plan. And offsets required for today's authorization in the amount of $6.1 million have been identified. Upon approval of this project, planning and design will continue this summer with the contract award in the second quarter of 2020. Construction will then begin and is expected to conclude 1 year later in the second quarter of 2021. The capital spending will serve to create new jobs as well as existing jobs. The total economic activity for this project is expected to be 280 job years and $21.1 million in payroll wages. Commissioners, pending your questions, I ask that the project authorization be advanced to the board for consideration.
Any questions? Thank you, Huntley. May I have a motion from the committee members?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Here a second. Thank you. Any objections? Hearing none, the motion is passed. This concludes today's meeting on capital planning, execution, and asset management, and I turn the meeting back over to Chairman O'Toole.
Thank you, Vice Chair.